Human methods have always been particularly noteworthy. To the humans, they were just a fly to be swatted. One of the most infamous images was presented next. A lone human soldier standing relaxed before the ruins of New Kalante, a city reduced to rubble. In the background, a small armada of frigates loomed over the city's smoldering remains, raining down autocannon fire on anything that dared move. The soldier, entirely at ease, leaned against a tree, her rifle casually slung over her shoulder. According to reports, this soldier single-handedly killed 57 enemy combatants before being evacuated. After she left, the city, along with everything within 200 miles, was turned into glass by nuclear warheads. A picture of a human lawyer appeared on the screen. The Galactic Council had tried to prosecute the humans for war crimes. The human lawyer, calm and collected, pointed out two things that were enough to get the trial dismissed. First, the Galactic Council had specifically requested humanity's assistance in dealing with the colon issue. Second, the colons had released deadly viruses from their biological research facility in an attempt to drive off the human forces. The lawyer summed it up best: we had a choice: lose a city or lose an entire planet. We chose to destroy the city before it could destroy us. Admiral Talon paused, taking a long drink of water. I'd like to remind all of you that the humans voluntarily glassed New Kalante as a concession, not out of sheer malice, but because they considered it necessary. He continued, flipping to the next slide. Initially, humans claimed they intended to glass the entire continent and quarantine every system within a 15-light-year radius to prevent the spread of colon diseases. A young officer in the crowd raised her hand, eager to interject. If 15 light-years wasn't considered overkill, then what was? The Admiral chuckled. If only we knew, he said as he changed the slide behind him. The room fell into a stunned silence as the next image appeared on the screen. A 100-light-year quarantine, Admiral Talon explained. It was proposed as an extreme measure, but still considered a reasonable course of action. 100 light-years, he repeated, letting the words sink in. The room was now completely silent. No one knew how to respond. The Admiral took another long sip of water and continued. This exchange was a warning to the galaxy at large. Humanity is a species that sees what we consider overkill as perfectly normal and reasonable. He flipped the slide again, and the screen was filled with pictures of military assets, corporate megastructures, political figures, and everything in between. The visuals came fast and furious, leaving the officers in the room overwhelmed. We ramped up surveillance on human projects after that, Talon continued. What we uncovered was terrifying, but also incredibly revealing. A video began to play. The room darkened completely, the tension palpable. On screen was a fleet of human military assets amassing near a massive anomalous hypergate. The camera zoomed in to reveal 11,127 warships. Have you ever seen a battle group that large? A GA officer on the video muttered, barely believing his eyes. The hypergate began to activate, and the star it orbited darkened as its energy was drained. Wait, is that a different galaxy? Another officer on the video asked. The hypergate's destination was confirmed. It wasn't just a neighboring galaxy, it was a different galaxy entirely. Talon didn't pause. This is what we learned. Humanity, in all their alien complexity, has control over at least 27 galaxies and influence in over 1,700 others. Some estimates say they've infiltrated and expanded into more than 10,000 galaxies. They are a force of nature. He flipped to the next slide. A map of the Great Rift of Althor appeared. The rift had opened just 10 years ago, swallowing an entire star cluster. It had taken 157 species, humans included, to stop the lethal radiation from sweeping across 15,000 stars. Then came the slide that made the room erupt into chaos. A picture appeared, the last transmission received before the rift consumed it, an image of the Althar sector, now a shattered graveyard. The caption read, "This is the last known image before the rift claimed the system." Officers began to shout in disbelief. "Why would the humans do this?" one demanded. "They were our allies. How could they?" The admiral waved his hand for silence. "Calm down," he said softly. "There's more." The next slide showed the horrifying result of a plague that had begun in Althar. A single infected carrier decimated an entire planet. The disease, which humans called the Scourge, spread rapidly through the sector. The humans had tried to contain it, but their methods were drastic. On screen was an image of a quasar, an active supermassive black hole being used as a weapon. Human scientists had harnessed the quasar's energy and focused it into a beam of pure annihilation. The humans' hyperweapon, the most destructive device the galaxy had ever seen, was their solution to a galaxy-threatening problem. "The plague threatened to spread," Talon said, his voice heavy. "We begged the humans for help, and they responded by using the quasar weapon to wipe out the infected planets." More images flashed, showing the Scourge's deadly progression across the sector. The plague had killed billions. And in a final horrifying act of pragmatism, the humans eradicated the infected systems with their most powerful weapon. The room was silent. The officers stared in disbelief, stunned into terror by the sheer scale of humanity's power. Talon's final words echoed through the room. "I'm sure you're all wondering what to do with this information. Unfortunately, the answer is simple. Nothing. We exist at humanity's whim. They are the masters of the galaxy. And if they so choose, they could erase us as easily as they erased the Colons or the Althar sector." He paused and looked around, letting his words settle in. "My advice to you all is this: never ever go against humanity. They may seem helpful, diplomatic, even civilized, but their idea of overkill is our annihilation. And trust me, don't bring a cruiser to a quasar fight.